Hello artists! Today we will be doing a collage skill builder to help learn more before you create your own. Today's skill builder video is an I do, you do video. That means you will see me demonstrate part of the activity and then tell you to pause the video so you can do that step. I do, you do videos allow us to create together. First, we need to collect our materials to create our collage. You will need paper, and that can be from your sketchbook. It can be printer paper, or if you have colorful paper that you want to use, you can do that too. Other materials we will need are glue, a pencil, scissors, something square like a post-it note stack, or building blocks, and cardboard that we will use as the base for our collage. So pause this video and press play when you've collected your materials to create our collage. Now that we have our supplies together, we want to make sure that our cardboard is ready to go. So we need to make sure that it's a rectangle, and you'll want to cut away any excess cardboard. The cardboard you can use can be thick, like the one I have, or it could be thin, like a cereal box. It just depends on what you have around. If you need help cutting your cardboard, ask an adult for help. The next step is going to be tracing a square. For our collage today, we need to trace 4 squares. So I'm going to take one piece of paper and my stack of post-it notes. And to trace the squares, we're going to use our pencil and follow along the edges. That way we know it's going to be just the same size as what we're tracing. So use your pencil and your square item to create 4 squares on your piece of paper. Go ahead and pause the video so you can trace your squares. Now that we've got our 4 squares drawn on our paper, we can use our scissors to cut them out. Feel free to cut slowly to make sure your lines are following the pencil lines that you drew. Pause the video so you can cut out all of your squares. Now that we have our 4 squares, we're ready to create a rectangle. To create a rectangle, we are going to grab a square and fold it in half, just like a hot dog. So that way it is long and split down the middle. We can then take our scissors and cut where we folded. Pause the video and cut your 2 rectangles. Now that we have our rectangles, we are going to grab another square and we will fold this one like a taco to create our triangles. And just as we did with our rectangles, we're going to cut where the fold is. Now it's your turn to pause the video and create your 2 big triangles. Now that we know how to make big triangles, we're going to learn how to make small triangles. To do this, we will fold the square just like a taco as we did for our big triangles. But instead of one fold, we will fold it again to create extra triangles that are just a little bit smaller than the first ones we made. Again, we will take our scissors and cut where we have folded the paper. Take this time to pause the video and create your smaller triangles. Collage is an image made from multiple pieces of paper that combine to create the image. We will be creating a landscape, which is an image of the outside, just like you see out here. Now we have one square, 4 small triangles, 2 big triangles, and our 2 rectangles. Our cardboard is ready, and we are going to create ground for our landscape. There are 2 ways you can create the ground for your landscape. You can tear the paper, or you can cut the paper. The paper we will use to make these 2 pieces is the one we haven't cut yet. I'm going to first show you how to tear the paper for our collage. You can go ahead and use one thumb to hold the paper still while the other thumb moves and breaks it into 2 pieces. We want to be working with the long side of our paper, so that way when we go to create our collage, it will cover most of the long part of the cardboard. If you want to cut the ground for your collage, you can take your scissors and just start cutting wavy lines. They can be as big waves or as small waves as you want them to be. Pause the video and tear or cut the ground for your collage. Now that you've created the ground for your landscape, we will create snow. To create our snow, we're going to take a piece of paper we've already cut or torn from and start ripping small pieces of snow. To do that, we will again have one thumb hold still while the other thumb and fingers move the paper, and we can create small pieces of snow. Go ahead and pause the video so you can create the snow for your landscape by tearing small pieces of paper. Now that we have all of our collage supplies cut and ready to go, we can start putting them onto the cardboard and figuring out where we want everything to go. I'm going to start by putting the ground into my landscape and then adding a square. Experiment with how you want the shapes in your image to be. Whether you want a flat roof or a triangular roof, or a combination of the 2. It is up to you how you want your winter home to look. I want to add a tree. So to make my pine tree, I'm going to use a rectangle and some of our smaller triangles. And as we talked about, collage is combining shapes to create an image. So with one rectangle and 3 small triangles, I've made a pine tree. Once you've decided that the way you want your house and landscape to look, you can take your glue stick and start to glue down the pieces of your collage. Remember, we want to make sure that the glue stays on the paper and doesn't go on to the surface that we're working on. We don't need a lot of glue because it works really well. You can go ahead and press the paper down to the cardboard once you know where you want it. Go ahead and pause the video so you can arrange the shapes in a way you want, and when you're ready, start to glue them down. When you're finished, you will have your own winter landscape. Once you're done gluing down your pieces of paper to the cardboard, remember, you should hear the glue click. And that's how you know the cap is on and your glue won't dry out. Now take a picture of your landscape and post it in the art assignment activity. For those of you working with colored paper, your collages might look something like this.